In this video, I'm going to talk about the law of cosines. So I'm going to write the formula as it is given on your formula sheet. But before I do, I want to go ahead and draw a general triangle. We'll call this side A, angle A, angle B, angle C, and then the sides opposite of those angles would be the lowercase c, lowercase b, lowercase a. All right. So the law of cosine says this c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times the cosine of c. So what that means then is that if we have side A and side B in the angle C, then we can find the missing side. So that would mean that we would have side, angle, side. So let's look at an example and use the law of cosines. Let's say we have a triangle like this. And let's say they call this side X. This is 10. This is 12. This is 30. And then this side here, angle is called theta. And then the angle at the top, we'll do alpha. Okay, great. So we want to find all of the missing information. Well, since we just finished talking about the law of cosines, and I can see that I definitely have this side, this angle, and this side given to me, I can use the law of cosines since it's side, angle, side. Okay, so then in this example, sorry, let me go ahead and pull it down. X would be our c squared. And then here it doesn't really matter which one we assign A or B. It really doesn't. So I'll go ahead and call the A side 10, kind of matching the triangle above, plus 12 for the B, so 12 squared, 10 squared plus 12 squared, minus 2 times 10 times 12 times the cosine of 30 degrees. Okay, so the reason it really doesn't matter is because we're just adding those two values and then we're multiplying in the next part. It doesn't matter which one we call A and which one we call B. It really doesn't. All we need to get correct is that we're finding the side opposite of the angle that we were given. Okay, as long as we got that correct, we're good to go. All right, let me grab my calculator and let's do some calculating here. So let's see. 10 squared is 100 plus 12 squared is 144. And then that's 20 times 12, which is 244. No, yeah, 240. Sorry, 240. I looked at the 144 and that threw me off. 240. Okay, then I need to find the cosine of 30 degrees. 30 degrees on the unit circle is the smaller angle, which means I'm doing a little triangle here. Since cosine is what I'm trying to find, that's the longer side. So that's going to be the square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so let's do some simplifying. This ends up being x squared equals 244 minus, okay, so the 240 and the 2 reduce. So that'll be 120 times the square root of 3. So to solve for x, I need to take the square root of both sides. So I'm going to plug this on the right side into the calculator. Oops. Okay. Wow. I don't know why I did that. This is what I'm going to plug into the calculator. And I'll solve for x. Okay. So 244 minus. And then I'm going to take the square root of that. Okay. So I get 6.013. I'll just kind of go 3 decimals out. Why not? And there we go. I found x. Yay, so exciting. Okay, now I'd like to find one of the other angles. Okay, And I could use the law of cosines again. However, I'm hesitant to do that simply because it potentially using the rounded side. I mean, well, I guess it really doesn't matter. I could use the law of cosines again, or I kind of feel like using the law of sines. Once I have all three sides like this, I can go ahead and use the law of sines with one, and kind of just go from there. So I'm going to pair up sine of 30 degrees with the side I just found, 6.013, and set it equal. So here we'll find alpha. So sine of alpha over 12. Okay, so cross multiply. Boop, boop. And we get 12 sine of 30 degrees equals 6.013 sine of alpha. Okay, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 6.013. Oops. And we'll be left with so if this is what sine of alpha equals, I need to take the inverse of that. Okay. So I'll go ahead and plug it in, but I'm not gonna clear anything. So let's see. Sine of 30 degrees. Oh, I actually sine of 30 degrees we know is 1/2. That's funny. Came out in the calculator nicely. That's fine. Times 12 divided by 6.013. I get 0.9978. I'll throw a couple decimals in there. That's fine. I'm going to keep that number in the calculator though, and take the sine inverse of it. So, taking the sine inverse. Sorry. So I ended up with 86.2. I guess I could do an extra decimal if I wanted, but that's fine. 86.2 for alpha. Okay, so let's find theta. To do that, I'm just going to subtract the two angles from 180. So 86.2 minus the 30. I could go and put little degrees on all of those so it looks professional. 180. Okay, so I end up with 63.7 for theta. All right. So there is the law of cosines. We really only used it once. And again, just making sure we use this, finding the side opposite of the angle given. Okay, the law of cosine also works for side, 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 because we could solve for C, this angle, given the other three sides. So it also works when we're given side, side, side. It'll actually give us an angle to work with. So that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and try an example. All right, let's say I have this triangle. Kind of make it a little different this time. We're told that this is 25, 20, 18, and then that this is, they used alpha again. Alpha right there. All right, so they want us to find alpha. Now, what we have to do is set up the right side across from the angle. So this is what we'll start with in our law of cosines. That's going to be 20 squared equals, and then the other two, it doesn't matter. So I'll do 25 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times 25 times 18 times the cosine of alpha. Okay, so I'm going to go through and start working all this junk out. 20 squared, that's 400. 25 squared, that's 900. No, 625. I don't know where I came up with 900. 18 squared is 324. And then 2 times 25 times 18 comes out to 900. Oh, sorry. That was where I got the 900. I looked up to see work and I saw 900 and I was like, 900? Yeah. Nope. Happy I checked. Okay. Let's add the 625 and the 324 together. That's going to give me 949. Just going to get alpha by itself here, but got to get everything else cleared out first. I'm going to minus the 949 from both sides, which will give me negative 549 when I subtract it from both sides. And I'm left with negative 900. Cosine alpha. Okay, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 900. Kind of skipping showing that work. The two negatives become positive. That's a relief. Boop. And now I'm going to take the cosine inverse of that. So I'm going to take the cosine inverse of 549 over 900. And we'll go ahead and give the answer in degrees. That's fine. So I get 52.4 degrees when I plug that into my calculator. And there we go. We produced an angle, and then we could find one of the other angles if they asked us for it using the law of sines. But that's how the law of cosines works. Another formula, but it works for side, 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 and side, angle, side. And there you go.